Javier, thank you for joining me today.
How are you? Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you. Yeah, let's jump right into this. We have Due Justice releasing November 24th. That's an exciting film. I watched it last night. And by the way,
Oh, thank you.
before we get more into this, Black Warrant with Berenger and Cam. I had Cam on last year. What a great movie that was.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love these type of action movies. Any pressure going into this film as a writer and a director?
No, not really. I've been wanting to do movies for the longest time, but I've never been successful. I'm not a intellectual or educated writer. I didn't go to college for any of this. Um, I was a stay-at-home dad and trying to work through film for years. And well, nobody was hiring me to direct movies or anything, so I figured I had to write something. And eventually somebody liked this movie and they said, okay, we'll let you do that one, see what happens. But no, it's a lot of fun. That's, years of nothing. So you can do something for 18 days.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, this movie reminded me a lot of like those you probably know as well if you like these type of movies like in the late 80s, early 90s action
Yeah.
type of movie.
It's
What
my
how,
influence.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like I grew up like with those type of movies with like Steven Seagal, like Hartford Justice, like one of those type
Yeah,
of movies.
Lethal
Like
Weapons.
yeah, so what made you like push this project? What made you fall in love with it?
Oh, well, I always wanted to do more like a go back. I just felt like I've been watching so many what they call thrillers now.
Yeah.
And I watched it, but at the end of the movie, I don't feel like I ever watch it again. It was hard to swallow. Everything was so serious, and I felt I was missing something. Then my son, which is crazy about movies too, we get into this. I'm going to show you some of the movies I enjoy watching when I was younger. So we went through all the Lethal Weapons movies. And I'm like, okay, there was humor back then. There could be a lot of action, but you wanted to like the guy, and there was some laughter here and ridiculousness here. But you remember the characters. And in these new thrillers, I don't remember the character. I don't even remember the plot. I know there
Mm.
were bad guys and they put nuclear weapons or drugs somewhere. And at the end, they end up fighting in some tower, and and that's the end. So I was missing that humor. So when I wrote the movie, when I edited the film, actually, we had 2 hours. And the complaint was that it had too much comedy.
Mm.
And they wanted to do the serious part. But yeah, my influence was exactly the stuff you mentioned, all the way from uh, the French Connection, to Spielberg and all that. So I
Yeah.
grew up in Hollywood. I never did a lot of Italian and foreign films, a little bit, but not as much as just Hollywood was right on my face.
That's awesome. Well, what are you hoping for? Like, when the viewers of the fans of this type of movies tune in to watch this, what are you hoping to get out of this experience?
Well, regards to the actual topic of the movie, to me was all about parenting.
Okay.
If you notice, they all have parent issues. I was a dad. I mean, still a dad, but I was a dad of little kids back then when I wrote it. And then I heard of the Sandy Hook uh, thing in Connecticut, and it broke my heart. And I couldn't imagine what would I do if something happened to my kids. And I started to create the character of Santiago, just cranky, angry, hate the world, which is pretty much. I mean, he's pretty much me in the way I think, probably. But then, what would happen if you actually, go bad and really they have nothing to lose? I mean, what are you going to do? Just sit around? And then I will see parents say, that they lost their kids, but they feel like they need to forgive in order to move on. And I realized maybe I'm not a nice person because I don't think I could let it go.
Mm.
And then the character of Max kind of like, fuck it. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to end. It doesn't matter.
I actually wrote down here that one of my favorite parts of the movie was actually Santiago's like family, with his kids and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
like the story. He had his own little storyline happening in the
Yeah.
movie also.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the things. I mean, we had scenes with him at the psychiatrist and other things
Yeah.
where he was venting a little bit of stress with a divorce or separation or whatever, while trying to be a good cop and while the system doesn't really work. And then looking at that, and I thought, okay, so what about the bad guy? This guy is struggling. This guy is struggling. what is this guy just being bad? So let's give him something. I put Jeff in a situation of a crime corporate ladder where
Mm.
you still have your boss micromanaging you. And I think his reactions were so great about feeling like you want to kill somebody at any moment. And he's just trying to keep it together.
Yeah. How long did it take you to put the script together before you jumped into filming it?
Well, I wrote it 3 years. I mean, again, Sandy Hook, I think it was 2012.
I think so.
So somewhere around there, I started writing it, and I'll go over passes, and I forget about it because I'm working in another project, writing, just writing. Then when I thought it was done, I go, okay, well, let's see if it's done.
Mm. How did you get the ideas for each character and what their journey was going to be in the movie?
Usually, when I write, because again, I don't have an education, I usually pick up a character I like from a movie,
Okay.
um, and then I picture that actor telling me the lines they would say, how they speak, and all that, and base it on that character. And I kind of stick to those guys. Like when I was writing Ruthless, I kept thinking that this movie was going to be played by, because I didn't know who was going to play it. So I just picture, okay, this is a 65-year-old Clint Eastwood. So
Mm.
every line I was thinking, how would Clint Eastwood say it? So I went to that character. That's kind of like what I do. I imagine how would sound in their voices.
Mm. So we have in the movie we have Max, Ellis, and Santiago. What did you look for when you were casting who you wanted these actors to play? Like what were you looking for specific?
I wasn't worried about chemistry because there were three strangers.
Mm.
So I wasn't worried about that. Um, it's an indie movie and it's a low budget movie. So first you go to who likes it, you know.
Okay.
Luckily for us, we sent it to Kellan, and Kellan responds, hey, I like this one. In the case of Santiago, I like Efren, but the producers were hoping to get maybe a bigger name to make the movie a bigger sales, something like that. But I wasn't getting what Efren could do, which I don't know. Efren has this tough appearance that he could pull off on the outside, but he's got a big heart inside, and
Yeah.
I will feel like his big brown eyes gave me a lot when he was like reacting and looking, and kind of that's I go by feeling, and I other than the main characters, everybody has to audition. I had to see what they got.
Yeah. In the movie now, like who's your favorite character you think that you created that you love from this film?
Well, see, I like even the henchmen. If you notice, we tried to make them each one a little special. I didn't
Okay.
want it to be all henchmen dressed in suits, or tough
Yeah.
guys. So, we got these Gen Zs that just fuck up, just get a job because the other guys got no budget to get a decent crew. Um, so they used this to be a little more comedy between those guys. Somebody actually told me we should make a movie about those five guys, those henchmen, because they were interesting in their own. Um, I really felt good with Mr. Tank
Mm.
because everybody was pushing me to put a really tough guy there that will intimidate Ellis as a boss.
Yeah.
And then I said, there is this lady who's tiny and she's got a beautiful smile. And I was very nervous. I said, it's not going to work. It's not going to be scary. And then when she started talking and she started making this expression, I go, oh, she could be a good bitch. She could do it. And then Jack came over, oh my gosh, I really like what she's doing. And then like, oh, that felt great. Because I was very nervous about that one. Just
Uh,
not a typical casting for that
yeah.
character.
Obviously, I know we can't talk. I don't want to talk spoilers and everything, but the way the movie was left off, do you think you can see a continuation, a different story down the road?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I actually wrote the first scene of the next one because I wanted
Okay.
to know what happened after this. So I
Okay.
kind of wanted Max and Santiago to sit and chat a little bit about what just happened
Yeah.
with that lady I told you that she sold her baby and she got a TV.
Yeah.
What was that about? Let's discuss this. So that I started writing that, but that's as far as I gone.
It's amazing. So Javier, this is getting released on digital November 24th. Is that what it is? We said?
They told me this November 24th. I think it's gonna open in a couple theaters in LA, Chicago, and New York.
Right, amazing, Javier. I want to thank you today. This was great, and good luck with the film. And maybe we'll see you soon for a sequel.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.